Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking addictions, a subject that's really passionate of mine because addictions are what occupied a large proportion of my early years. Only up until recently have I been able to become free of them. I'm not saying I still don't have these addictive thought patterns in my head, but I now have the observation and awareness to see through all of those, be aware as to why that pattern's arising and become free of it. So in my early years, I tried all the addictions going: drink, drug, the gym, sex, work, social media, films, computer games, anything to kind of make me feel good for a little while. But you see, it doesn't always work. We're chasing this insurmountable high and we always keep coming back to what it is to chasing that. So why did I have such an addictive personality? Well, after my awakening, this is why I became so curious. I wanted to learn about myself. So what I did, started asking myself questions, started learning about human phasic development, how we develop as children, how we learn certain emotional behaviours in our childhood, and then essentially just replay them in our adult life. You could all say we're just wounded little children running around in adult bodies, playing off our emotional stuff, reacting to things. And one of the reasons I chose addictions, and this is just for me, but I don't know if you can relate, it's that I wasn't capable of feeling the present moment. I wasn't comfortable with what's going on inside of me. Now that's only tend to be like a negative emotion. We're pretty good at feeling positive feelings, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone wants to feel joy, happiness, ecstasy. These are great parts of the human experience. But when you push away the other side of it, the shame, the guilt, the negativity, that's when you reach for addictions to keep these feelings at bay. So one thing I've learned is just when I feel a negative emotion arising, not to judge it now as I would in the past and distract myself from it, just sit with it, study it, not detach myself from it, but just really observe it without judgment. And over time, you can kind of burn this emotion out, that they come to pass a lot quicker. Also, another thing you can do is ask yourself, what would I have to believe about myself or the situation to be true in order to be experiencing this emotion? So this is how we use emotions as guidance systems to kind of become aware of the beliefs we hold about ourselves. And another reason why I chose addictions is because I felt that I wasn't good enough. So when I was 3 years of age, my mother left me. She just left one day, left my father and I, and that was it. She never came back. As a young boy, and he's developing models of the world, his subconscious structures, his ego structures of how life was and what he believed about himself. He then told himself a narrative, a story from his mother leaving that day, and then that became his adult narrative. And that stemmed from, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve love, nobody wants me. Now, can you see, with that belief that's withheld within my psyche, within my subconscious, then what emotion will be connected to that to be generated to reinforce that belief? And it's not a pleasant one. It's probably shame, a lot of guilt. I felt responsible for my mother leaving as well, even as a 3-year-old boy. But you see, we're never responsible for our parents' actions. We never are. But as children, we believe that our parents' happiness is based on the way we act, because I think this is the way we're taught and shamed into our emotions being a bad thing, and then we feel that we behave certain ways, we get approval from our parents, and then if we behave another way, we get kind of punished by our parents in a way. So these are the narratives I told myself, that I wasn't good enough. Basically, I was not worthy of love, and that was steeped in shame. And you see, these aren't good feelings to feel. We do our best to keep these at root, keep them at bay. But now I'm able to feel the shame, I'm able to feel the guilt and the beliefs behind them. And I see that I wasn't responsible for my mother leaving. I'm not responsible for the emotional reaction of others. I'm not responsible for my parents' happiness. That is a very tall order to fulfill. Only ourselves can make ourselves happy. Nothing external of us can make us permanently happy. They can bring moments of pleasure, moments of joy. I love my daughter, I love my wife. But if I believe my wife and my daughter are to make me happy and are responsible for my happiness, then that's a very, very tall order to fulfill, isn't it? That's a big obligation to post upon them as well. And you see, what if my daughter and my wife were to leave for whatever reason? Then my happiness would lie with them. So you see, happiness can only ever truly come from within us. So the next time you go for an addictive behaviour, an addictive pattern, just really become aware of what's going on in that present moment. Why am I choosing this pattern of self-numbing or self-medicating behaviour, which there's no shame, there's no guilt in that. It's a survival mechanism, and that's great. You've chose that. But if it's not serving you, if it's not working, if it's coming to your detriment and then alienating yourself from others, or you're just not happy, that deep down intrinsically you know there's something negative about this self-soothing behaviour you're engaging in, then it's time to become aware of the patterns and look, what am I keeping at bay here? What story do I believe about the emotion that I'm trying to keep shoved down? What do I believe to be true about myself? What about this situation? If there's particular situations that throw up certain emotions, what do I have to believe about this situation in order for me to generate this emotional response? And this is how you start working with emotions, and you start seeing that any addiction you choose will never ever make you feel permanently good. The only way to feel content and peace and true happiness is to be at ease and peace with everything that comes your way in life, and then just to let it pass organically and just sit with it peacefully, just observing it, watching it, honouring it for part of the duality that is part of its existence. And listen, I want to feel good. Everyone does. That's fantastic. But you can't know one without the other. So just sit with what is. So I hope this has helped with addictions. If you'd like longer, more detailed explanations into this, please feel free to drop a comment and I'll do more videos on it if it's helped you. But yeah, addictions are an indication of something that you're trying to keep at bay, or you're not comfortable just being you, being your authentic self. So when I used to go out, I would drink to excess because of social anxiety, and that anxiety was there because I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I fitted in because of that narrative I told myself from my mother leaving, that I didn't fit in, I wasn't wanted. So that's why I drank. So just become aware of what's going on next time you reach for an addictive behaviour, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's no shame, there's no guilt, there's no judgment. The only person that's judging you is you. We're our own worst critics, and this is how you slowly start to break the cycle of addictions and detrimental behaviour. Empower yourself and just feel the emotions pass, and you start to become content with all that is in life. So guys, if you like this, please like it, subscribe it, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Lots of love. Thank you.